Hi everyone, welcome. It's Sunday afternoon and it was supposed to be let's go for a walk day, but it's so windy, so it's turned into a fun stamping afternoon. And I wanted to share with you a really quick tutorial on how to use Stampin' Blends. As you can see, I'm in the middle of crafting mode here. I've got stuff going everywhere, but I'm going to help you see how easy it is to use Stampin' Blends. They sometimes seem like they're a little difficult because they come in a pack of two, there's two different colors, and how are you supposed to use them? And how do you blend them out? But they are really simple once you get used to using them. And what they are is alcohol markers. So the colors just kind of float together, and that's how you get the blending look. But we'll look at that in just a second. Today I want to show you how to use the Stampin' Blends on the True Love Designer Series paper. So this is a gorgeous pack of paper in the January to June mini catalog, and it has all of these different designs on it, lots of different flowers, but it's all black and white. And so there's a number of different flower styles that you can use, but it is such a great way to learn and practice how to use your Stampin' Blends because it has some of the shading in there. It kind of gives you an idea of where you should be shading with your colors as well. So we're going to actually be using this paper with the larger flowers, to make some quick note cards today in a variety of colors. All right, so let's get started. So again, this is the True Love Designer Series paper, and you can find that in the January to June mini catalog. The other thing we're going to use today is the Art Gallery stamp set for the sentiments. So these have sort of long, simple type sentiments that work really well for small note cards as well. That's what we're also going to use here. Is we are going to use, these ones say Whisper White, but now they're the basic white note cards and envelopes out of the annual catalog. And so in here you get 20 cards and envelopes. So, or I guess, do you get 10? I'm not sure. We'll have to look that up. So this is the card here, and you fold the side that has the bumped side is actually the inside. And so you just fold them in, and you can just burnish this with your bone folder, and then it comes with matching envelopes. So that makes it really easy to make cards. And we're going to use that today to quickly and easily make a pack of cards to give as a gift or for you to use when you're in a pinch. Sometimes, even though I have a lot of different cards on hand, I sometimes don't have the right sentiment that I want to use. So I'm looking for a really quick way to make a card, and this is just one way that you can do that. But this is going to be a lot of fun today, just using the Stampin' Blends. And I just wanted to look up the note cards here for you because since I'm confusing everyone about them. They are here in the back of the annual catalog. Oopsies. Note cards and envelopes. Here we go. So there's 20 cards and 20 envelopes. They come in white or in very vanilla. So they are now basic white rather than Whisper White, but for those of you who have been following along, you will be well aware of that change that came about. And that's on page 153 here of the annual catalog. And it's such a great value, like 20 cards, and this costs $9.50, and your envelopes are included. So it's a really economical way to create gifts or cards that you want to give out in a pinch or in a flash. And so what I have here is I have cut this down to 3. Our note cards measure 3 by 5, 3.5 by 5. I'm just going to verify that, 3.5 by 5. And so what I've cut here is a piece that measures 3 by 5. And the reason I did that is because the paper is 12 by 12. So our magic numbers to cut and get the most out of our paper are 3 inches or 4 inches. And then you can either get 4 across or 3 across, depending on how big you want them. But since our cards are 3.5, I've cut it at 3 inches wide by 5 inches long. And so the one thing you do want to know when you're using alcohol markers is that they do bleed through your paper. So you're going to want to make sure you color this before you put it on your card, not after. And you're going to want a scrap of paper to color on. So today, you've probably seen the cards I did before. I've chosen some really light colors. I have the purple Posy, so this is the light, and the dark that I did one card in. I used also the Balmy blue, light and dark, and the Petal pink, which is one of my favorites. I have the light and dark Petal pink. And then right now I'm going to share with you the Saffron. So these are all kind of soft colors that I'm using, but you could use whichever colors speak to you or as bold as your heart desires. It's really up to you. But I find when you're learning to use Stampin' Blends, the softer the colors you use, the easier it is, the less chance you're going to make a mistake or not be happy. You can't really make a mistake, but that you won't be happy with the final result. So the thing that I love about this paper, like I said, is it already has sort of the black shading for you. And we're going to just color along those shading marks that are already prepared for us. We're going to start with the light. And I'm going to use the brush tip because I like that. If you like a little bit more control, you can use the bullet tip as well. And we're going to just start coloring from the bottom up. And I'm going to just kind of drag my brush tip up like this. Follow, if I see any black spots, I'm going to just gently go like this. And I'm going to just keep following those black tips. So they've already done all the work for me. I know where my color needs to go. And when you put down the color, it might look a little bit streaky at first, but as it kind of dries, it sort of melds out or bleeds out into the paper, giving sort of a soft line around it. And also it's going to soften up. The color's going to get lighter. So you can also go over this multiple times, which is one of the reasons that I really like the blends. Sometimes with the markers, if you're coloring over and over the same place, you have the possibility of pilling up your paper or actually even making a hole in your paper. With the blends, that doesn't happen. So I really like that part of it. And I just like how soft the finish look is. Now, if you're coloring something that was much smaller, markers might be the way to go because these do kind of bleed out, right? So we're going to just leave the tips of all of our flowers white, and we're going to just focus on adding some color here at the base. Now you can use these to color anything. This is just a really great idea for learning how to use them. Or whether you already know how to use them, that's great too, because this is a lot of fun and it's really easy. So you can see here, you really don't need to be that careful. I'm just making lines or streaks all the way down from where I see those black parts. So I hear someone out in the hallway. So if my husband or my daughter happen to come in here and just start making a ruckus, it's because they don't know I'm on on a live. I just decided while I was stamping, I'm like, I need to share this with everyone because it's so fun and so easy. All right, let's just keep marking these. And you can see I'm not really taking my time. You don't have to be too particular with the blends because they do bleed out and give you those soft edges afterwards. And again, you can always start light, and if you decide you want more color, you can just go back in, and that's kind of the idea between the light and the dark and why they come in a pack, is that I start with the light. Some people like to start with the dark, but I find it works a lot better for me if I start with the light, and I kind of color in most of my image with the light, and then I just go back and do some shading with the dark in the parts where there would be naturally a darker color. So I don't know if my hand is in the way here, so if it is, I apologize. But so for the first go over, I'm not too careful. I'm really just laying down some color that I'm going to use to blend. And we're almost done here. Oh, it did not take too long at all. The other thing I've seen done with these blends is actually the opposite, where instead of coloring the flowers, they've colored the background and colored the negative part, and then the flowers were left white, and that was really pretty as well. I guess we have a flower over here, don't we? And I'm not going to color the leaves. I'm just going to leave those black and white. So then we're going to take the dark one of those, and you can use, again, the bullet point or the brush tip. I'm going to use the brush, and I'm really going to just stick where the really dark parts are, or where there's a leaf or a petal that's underneath of the other petals. So I'm going to, again, just use the paper as my guide, and I'm going to just, again, brush out and kind of follow those lines just where it's the darkest part. And I'm going to just go around all, and then these little petals that are kind of behind, I'm going to add a little bit extra in there. That's going to give it a little bit more standoutishness. So standoutishness, I'm not sure if those are English words, but we're going to go with that today. So you can see how it just starts to add a little bit of definition and color just really quickly and really easily. It doesn't take much at all to get this to go. I'm just going to stick. And if you find, like sometimes I find that I end up with a really dark circle in the middle, you're just going to go again and just brush out a little bit to kind of keep from having sort of just all of the concentrated color so that it looks a little bit more natural. but you can add in as much or as little as you want. And once you've added in the dark parts, if you decide that you want more color or you have too much white, you can go back in with your light and either blend out some of the dark so that it will float out into the lighter parts, or just add some more light running out towards the tips of your flowers. But these, when you're using lighter colors, it is a lot easier to get a blended look. When you have the darker colors, these markers give you a really vibrant, deep color, the more ink that you lay down. That's why I always kind of like to just start with my light and then build up color from there, rather than start with my dark, because you can't really go back once you've added your dark. All right, let's go back to some of these leaves that are underneath here and add a little bit more color a little farther out to add some shadow. And so this is a really easy way to use your blends. You could definitely, I'm just going to go pull this center out a little bit more. You can definitely add more color to these flowers, and then you'd blend them out a little bit more with your light marker after the fact. Today we're going to keep it simple. And just keep going. We're almost done. So this pack of paper has a number of different floral images, and all of them would work really well for this. I use this one because, one, it has the bigger flowers, so there's a little bit less coloring when you're first starting or when I'm on a live. But also more room to color. Some of the other flowers are a lot smaller, so it would be a little bit more difficult for me just to show you what's going on here. So then I'm just going to kind of look at it and see if there's some spots where I wanted to add a little bit more shading, but I'm actually really happy with that. I think that looks really nice. I love how there's white along the edges. It kind of makes it look a little bit of a watercolored look. And I really like that. So again, you could color in the leaves, but I think this is gorgeous. So we're going to go with this. So again, this is a piece that measures 3 by 5, and I have a piece here that measures 3 1/4 by 5, and I'm going to just glue this right down so that I have a border on each side. And I'm just going to do that with my Stampin' Seal, and you can see here how the color starts to fade through the paper. So you really do want to make sure that you color before you add this to your card, or you might be really sad when you start having color through your card front. Okay. It doesn't matter, I can turn it around after. Now we're going to pull out a note card that I've already folded here, and I'm going to just adhere this again with seal to the front of the card. I'm going to just go around the 4 sides. Ugh, sticking it to my fingers. Now let's see, do I want it this way? I think I want to have it this way. There's really not an up and down on this paper, so it kind of depends which flowers fall on the piece that you've cut, which way you want to put this. And now what I did here is I have just taken a whole bunch of sentiments out of that stamp set that I showed you, the Art Gallery stamp set, and I've embossed them all in white on black cardstock. You could use your Whisper White craft ink to stamp these as well on black, or you could just stamp black on white if that's what you have on hand too. And so this was really fun because what I did is I stuck all the sentiments onto one block like this. I stamped them all in Versamark and I embossed them all at once and then cut them out. And so it was really easy and really quick, and I had a number of sentiments in just minutes. All right, so I'm going to put this one on with some dimensionals. Just on the back here. And put this across my card somewhere towards the top, sort of like so. And so you could totally just leave it like this. You could add some Wink of Stella, which is our glitter brush, to your flowers if you wanted to. But I'm actually going to use these Pearl Basic Jewels today. And another great thing that you can use your blends for is coloring your embellishment. So pretty much anything that is white, you can color, and I've actually colored gold ones as well, different colors, and then you have the sparkle, but these ones are really pretty. I'm going to use the dark one because it just shows up a little bit more, and I want a little bit more color on my embellishment. So I'm going to just go in here with my brush tip and give this a little bit of a color. And see how they're just already turning yellow? Maybe I'll take a really big one here. So I'm going to color 3 for now. Just like that. And because it's alcohol inks, it dries really fast. I've got my Take Your Pick tool, which I love because then I can see where I'm going. And I'm going to just stick these into some of the open spaces. Now these big ones sometimes don't want to get picked up. There we go. And I don't want them, I'm going to stick one right down there. So then we've just got those 3, and you could add as many as you wanted if you wanted to fill in more of the holes. Again, these are the Pearl Basic Jewels, and you can just color them with any color. So that works out well. So there, we've got our card already made, and as you saw before, I made a whole bunch of other ones in different colors. Let me bring those back out here. So we have a blue one. This one I added a little bit more color than I did for the yellow. This one I added even less color. This one here is in the purple Posy. But I've colored all of the embellishments, as you can see, in the matching colors. And this one here is the Petal Pink. So the Petal Pink and the So Saffron probably have the similar amount of color on them. This one has a little more and this one has a little less. So you really can play with it as much as you want to. And again, start with less and add more if you want more. So these would just be really great cards on their own to hand out, but this would also make a fantastic gift. So you could take your cards, and once you've made them, obviously, stick them into a little pile here. And I've got the matching envelopes that come with the kit. I'm going to stick those with my cards as well. And now I've just cut a strip, which this is about probably 11. Okay, so it's about 10 inches long and a 1.5. I just kind of cut it, so 1.5 inches thick. And you're going to take this little piece of paper. We're going to wrap it around here, and I'm going to kind of cover up my sentiments. We're going to just wrap it, and then using our tear and tape, if I can find it, I had it here a moment ago. I don't know exactly where it's wandered away to. So I'm going to use the Stampin' Seal. I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive here to the one end. Again, stack these all up, wrap my paper around it so that it lines up at the back like this. And then what I've done is actually I have taken the white linen thread from the Snail Mail Suite. So it's Snail Mail Twine combo pack. I've taken the white and I've colored it with the purple Posy Stampin' Blend. So again, you can coordinate any of the embellishments that you want into the color that you like. And I literally just took my brush. I need to get my scrap back here. I took my brush and I just went like this down, as simple as that, down the piece of twine. And you could use the light, you could use the dark, you could make it in any color. And now I have this purple Posy twine that will coordinate with my project. And so I am going to take this, I'm going to actually just stick a little bit of adhesive here to hold down my piece of twine. And I'm going to wrap this around here. I'm going to actually cut that off. So I'm just using this as a little decoration. You could tie it in a bow. You could do however you want. And then I'm going to take a flower out of that same paper. I colored it and I cut it out with my scissors. And I'm going to just add some adhesive to the back of this and stick that on the front. And now I have a really quick and easy gift to give someone. So you could add a little tag on here with their name, or it says for you, whatever you'd like to do. And you have a cute little gift to give away. Everyone would love to get something like this. Not everyone enjoys crafting or making, but this would be a beautiful gift to give someone. So you have a set of 4 cards and envelopes that's really cost effective for you to give as a gift, but also a really nice gift for someone to receive. So I hope that this has taken out some of the intimidation of using the Stampin' Blends. I know I've had quite a few questions about them recently, and they really are a lot of fun. And I love that they just sort of bleed out and create soft lines and colors. and that you can also use these to make matching embellishments with. So whatever, you could also use white ribbon like this, you could color. You could color any of our other ribbon. There's some that has gold edge or silver edge. You can color the white part, whatever color you want it to be. And again, a lot of our embellishments as well, our jewels and whatnot, you can color to coordinate. So actually, I might just color a few after we're done and add them here to the center of the flower. So, but I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you're having a lovely Sunday afternoon. If you need any of these products, you can head over to www.saralynnstamps.stampinup.net. I'll put a link for you in the show notes. The show notes? I don't know if that's a thing. I'll put it in the description for you so you can go over and shop. If you have any questions, just reach out. I'm here to help you. I hope you enjoy crafting and have some time to enjoy your day. Bye, everyone.